Hey everybody, Midlife Media here. I've had a couple people ask me recently if I have any videos showing off my collection, and I don't really. I mean, you kind of see my stuff in the background of my posts sometimes, but I don't really have anything showing off my entire collection. So I figured I'd go ahead and put this video together for you today. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, and sorry there may be a little glare from the ceiling fan, but this is my small section of the family room, which is like my media area. I've got two pre-pack triple width Barrister Tower shelves that I bought from Amazon. Originally, I had one, and they were filled with PlayStation and Xbox games. And then I got into boutique movie collecting, and I was quickly filling the shelves up. So I got a second one, and then I ended up moving things around, and now both of these are all my boutique movies. And then this is over here where I sit and watch my movies. Those speakers back there are Sonos One SLs for rears. And over here, I watch on a 65-inch LG CX OLED TV with a Sonos Arc. And then I have a sub Gen 3 tucked away over in the back corner for the base. And then I also game. Mostly I play Dead by Daylight on PS5, and then I've got an Xbox Series X as well that I play various games on. And then I have a couple old servers down there that I got from work a long time ago. One that I use for Plex media server, and then another one for backup. But let's go over here let's just look at the top of the shelf first. So up here you will see a couple mini posters I got from a Crypticon about a year or two ago. And then I got some bigger items on top. I do put the majority of my movies in these hard plastic cases. Not really hard, but they're not bags. But I like these. I bought from Katana Toys on eBay. He makes special sizes. So I've got special sizes for quite a few of my larger items. Like we scroll over here, we've got some more of my bigger things. This is I love this. This is the Blind Dead DVD collection from Blue Underground. Awesome movies if you haven't seen them. Then Dawn of the Dead. This is the Second Sight 4K and Blu-ray release. One of my most prized possessions. I love this movie. It's probably my favorite zombie movie of all time. And I got a Jason mask. And this Friday the 13th Scream Factory collection, this is the item that got me into boutique collecting, boutique Blu-ray collecting. At the time I bought that, I honestly don't know that I've heard of Scream Factory. If I had, I didn't know what it was. I wasn't collecting movies at all at the time. So once I learned about Scream Factory and then all the other boutiques that were out there, it really got me hooked. And it's gone uphill or downhill from there, however you want to see it. And we got Annabelle. Then up here is a series of like wall art my wife bought me for Christmas one year. Then over here we've got a PlayStation and Xbox signs. My wife made those, and she made all of these as well. And I'm sorry I don't know how she made them, but they're very cool. And then over here I've got some shelves full of figures from games and horror films. All right, now let's get to the movie shelf. So this shelf over here is kind of my main boutique collection. These are ones that I have more of from the various boutique labels, and I do put them in alphabetical order, but I also put them sectioned off into the different labels. I'm going to start over here, though. This one, I kind of put some more of the bigger box sets or just bigger movies. Starting up here, we've got the Severin box sets. So I think my favorite out of this one is probably this Al Adamson box set, just because it's I got really lucky, and it had been on a print for like a year, and somebody on Reddit said that they had reached out to them via email and asked if they had any more to purchase, and they gave them a special link to do it. So I tried it, and sure enough, I was able to get it for retail. But this set goes for a lot of money nowadays. But it's got 32 different films on it from Al Adamson, and a nice sized book and a really cool documentary. Very cool. I mean, they're not the best movies, but they're very, you know, older exploitation films. You know, it's some good stuff though. I enjoy it. All the Hans BR set also is up there as one of my faves. Very cool set. And then down here we got some Vinegar Syndrome box sets. I got all the Forgotten Jollies and Homegrown Horrors. That's really cool. And then I picked up that Amityville box set off of eBay for a good price. And then a couple other random Vinegar Syndromes. This movie's really cool. I'd never heard of it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff from Vinegar that I haven't heard of that I took a chance on and really enjoyed. But Flesh for Frankenstein was a fun watch. And then I got some Arrow box sets. I still need to watch quite a few of these. I haven't really dug into the Herschel Gordon Lewis Feast set or the... Well, I guess I did watch half of the He Came from the Swamp. I still need to watch the Giallo Essentials, though. Or at least the black box. I did watch the red one. And then I got some other Arrow titles. Ones that, you know, there are special editions that are a little thicker and come with posters and books and stuff. And then a couple random things down here. All right, and then back up at the top of this shelf, I've got some DVDs. I don't actively buy DVDs. I did buy One Cut of the Dead, which is a really fun movie because it was at the Dollar Tree for $1. So I was like, yeah, what the heck? And it's got a nice slipcover on it, but it's very cool. And then I think my favorite DVD out of everything I have on DVD, and this is really all I have with the cases and everything. I do have an old binder with some DVDs in it. If I can get this out. But this Lamora, Child's Tale of the Supernatural. Very cool movie. It's got Rainbow Smith in it. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but yeah, it's a really cool movie, and I really wish they would release that on Blu-ray. And then these over here at so these are all DVDs, and then these here are actually Blu-rays, but they're just, you know, they're media books, so they don't really fit very well on the smaller shelves, but they don't really fit over here or any of the other shelves either. You can't stand them up. But anyway, and I put those in bags because I didn't have anything that the plastic cases that would fit those. But the plastic cases on these, all the regular Blu-rays and steelbooks, I buy these from retroprotection.com. I've tried several different ones, and they are by far the best and the cheapest at the same time, so I definitely recommend them. But here I've got these next shelves are kind of a mix of things, like ones I don't have a ton of for the label. So here I've got some Grindhouse releasing. I think my favorite one is probably Death Game. I pre-ordered that on New Year's last year, and got it early this year, I believe. I think it was just this year. I can't really remember. I don't have cases for these. I can't find any cases that'll fit the Grindhouse releasing, but yeah, that's probably about my favorite. The Beyond would probably be my next favorite. I love this Fulci Gates from Hell trilogy. Yeah, this is an excellent film. And then down here, we've got Synapse films. Yeah, all of these here are Synapse. I think my favorites out of these would probably be Tombs of the Blind Dead. This is a steelbook. It's got a slip with it. But yeah, this is the original movie from that DVD set that's over there, but on Blu-ray. And I'm hoping that someday the rest of them get re-released on Blu-ray. I think at least 2 other ones are on Blu-ray, but I think one is in the U.S. and then the other 2 I think are foreign films, or foreign audio. But anyway, and then The Living Dead at Manchester Morgue is another steelbook with a slip. This is probably my second favorite of the Synapse releases. And then, of course, you got Phenomena from Dario Argento. Amazing movie. Love this. Another favorite. Yeah, this is kind of hard. All right. And then further down, we've got the Blue Underground titles. I've got a mix of 4Ks and Blu-rays from them. I think Zombie is probably the best, or at least my favorite. But they put out a lot of good stuff, like Maniac is amazing. Justine is a good film. They're actually releasing a 4K of that this year or next year. House by the Cemetery, that's one of the, I mentioned the Gates from Hell trilogy. So this is a part of that Beyond movie from Grindhouse Releasing. Another excellent film. Daughters of Darkness was my first Blue Underground purchase, and it's got a lenticular slip. Very cool vampire movie. I'd never heard of it. It was a blind buy, and it was amazing. And then down here, I've got a mix of films from Ronin Flicks. So this first section here, and then we've got some Vestron Video Collector's Editions. There's also MVD Rewind Collection. So those are all really cool. They got these cool boxes that look like they're VHS tapes. And let's see, down here we've got Dark Force Entertainment. Most of the films I have from Dark Force are drive-in double features, which are really cool. There's a drive-in mode, that has the intermissions and previews and stuff in between the films, and they have like the old filmic look to them, so they're they look like they're old and worn, but I really love them. I think this one's probably my favorite. The Gates of Hell, that's the third movie in the Gates of Hell trilogy, and then it's got Psycho from Texas on it, which was pretty good. But yeah, Dark Force is cool. They come out with some really, really interesting stuff. Down here is kind of a mix of various things. I've got like one title here from, I think this is called, BFI. Deep End, which is an awesome movie. It's kind of more like a thriller, I would say. Highly recommend that one. And then you got Don't Look Now from Studio Canal, and then you got some Troma movies like the Nukem High movies. Those movies are pretty terrible. Most Troma films are pretty terrible, but they're really fun to watch. But again, I think they're a love or hate it type of movie. And then down here, I got a mixture of just miscellaneous stuff from like Well Go USA, like the Phantasm movies. I got some other hard to find stuff like the Pom Pom Girls, Satan's Cheerleaders, and just some other random stuff. All right, now here is the start of my Vinegar Syndrome titles. They are my favorite boutique label. I wouldn't say they have the best movies, but I like a lot of them. A lot of them are very cheesy. What we're looking at here, this top two rows are their Peakorama line, which are adult titles, which I normally wouldn't have. I never would have thought I would have collected, but these are older ones from like the 70s, where they actually had stories and they had a movie aspect to it. So they're actually very good for the most part. And then down here is where the normal titles start. And I am a subscriber, so this year is the first time subscribing, and what that means is every month I get the 3 or 4 or 5 titles that they put out that month just auto shipped to me. I paid up front last year during Black Friday, and it was a good chunk of money, but to me it's been well worth it. Like, I found a ton of stuff that I never heard of that I just love, and they also just put out really, like, they put a lot of effort into their like artwork. And then the movies have a lot of extras, and their slipcovers are really cool. You can buy them with or without slipcovers if you buy them when they first come out. The slipcover versions, depending on how popular movies are, they sell out pretty quick. But they just have really cool artwork. And then they have partner labels like AGFA here. And you can buy, if you're a subscriber, you can buy the AGFA titles or any of the other partner label movies at 50% off that entire year while you're a subscriber. So I've definitely taken advantage of that. But yeah, they've put out a lot of great stuff. This Deadlock is something I'd never heard of. It's like I guess what you call like an Italian or spaghetti western. Very cool flick, and it sold out pretty quick. And I think this is reselling for quite a chunk of change. They put out some more well-known films, like Drop Dead Fred is probably one that's a little more well-known to people. So there are some things like next month they are putting out Roadhouse in 4K with Patrick Swayze. But yeah, I think out of all the things I've got from them this year, there's only been maybe 4 movies that I actually didn't like. All the ones you see on this shelves are one that I enjoyed. Anywhere from I liked to loved, and decided they were worth keeping. Some of the partner label movies are just outstanding too. Let's see, like this one here from Fun City Editions, I Start Counting. Very, very good film. This one sold out, the slipcover version sold out fairly quick. But and then some of their movies are, like I said, they put a lot of effort into the packaging. Some more so than others. They have different lines like VSA and VSU where they put a little more effort into, like this one, this Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 release. It's a 4K release, and it's got a hard slip cut case, and then it's got a hard slip cover inside. But I watched this a week or so ago, and it's looks amazing in 4K. They did a really good job on it. But yeah, Vinegar is definitely my favorite, just because they're all around package and the stuff they put out that I've really enjoyed. So I cannot wait to continue being a subscriber next year with them. And then I've only got room for one more shelf of movies, and I'm going to have to rearrange it. I mean, I eventually think this whole shelf here is going to end up being a Vinegar Syndrome shelf, but we'll see. All right, and the top of the middle of this shelf, we've got Severin. Severin puts out some really cool stuff. They've got some, like this one's kind of a more well-known movie, The Changeling. It's got George C. Scott in it. But they also have some cool slip covers. They're not quite as fancy as Vinegar Syndrome. As far as the movies they put out a lot more like, I don't know, probably exploitation, raunchy films, like a lot of Jess Franco. Like if you're familiar with Jess Franco's work, he puts out a lot of, sleazy films, but I dig a lot of it. So I don't have near as much, and there's really not much more I want to get from them that's out currently. But yeah, I do really enjoy their box sets. Like I showed you that Al Adamson set when we started. They do a really good job on the box sets, and they have another one that I want now. I don't know why I can't remember the name of it, but I'm going to see if it's on sale on Black Friday. And then here we've got Arrow Video. They also put out some quality stuff. And here we've got Battle Royale, and I don't remember what country this is from, but I've seen it multiple times before I bought it. But it's awesome. It's just like you would think if you're in the video games, Battle Royale games, it's about a bunch of kids that basically are dropped off on an island. They think they're going to school, I believe it was. And then they find out they actually have to kill each other, and the last person off the island wins. They also put out some cool steelbooks, like Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. This is my favorite Elvira title. Don't have a lot of slips with Arrow. I mean, they do have some slips. I mean, here, this, I don't know if I can get this out. So this one's like a hard slip, Creepshow. I'm sure everybody knows Creepshow. This is probably one of my favorite Arrow releases. And then this one I got on eBay a while back for a good price, because this was actually usually really expensive. It's been out of print for a while, at least with the slip. And there are cheaper versions of Killer Clowns out there, but this one has got the best quality, so I had to have it. And they put out some other things, you know, they put out a variety of things. It's not just horror. So here we got Weird Science Steelbook. Very cool steelbook, very cool film. All right, down below my arrow is my Kino shelves. It's got like 1 1/4 of a shelf there. They put out a whole bunch of different kinds of films. They put out a lot of Mario Bava films. And some more Jess Franco stuff, and you know, other well-known things like Invasion of the Body Snatchers with Donald Sutherland and Jeff Goldblum, Leonard Nimoy. Get that back in there. All right, and then you know, they put out some steelbooks as well. This is Rawhead Rex. I got this for $5. That's the other thing too that's amazing about Kino, is they probably have the best sales. Whenever they have their sales, which are multiple times a year, the movies are generally like $8 to $10 for most anything you want. And they put out some really cool artwork too on some of their slips, like this tentacle slip just looks incredible. The movie is not so incredible. It's okay, but yeah, they put out some good artwork too. But they're definitely lacking in, the reason I think they're cheaper is because they're lacking in packaging and artwork on their discs. Their discs they all look the same. They just have the KL logo on it and the same background. And then also the extras on the disc are you know, 0 to maybe 1 thing on there. And also, I think a lot of their movies don't have subtitles either. So I think that's why their stuff's so cheap, because I think it's cheaper to produce. All right, at the top of this last shelf, I've got my Criterion collection. I don't have a lot of Criterion because a lot of the stuff that they put out are things I'm just not into, like horror movies, documentaries, foreign films. So, you know, as you can see from most of my collection, I usually collect, you know, exploitation and horror stuff, and Criterion just isn't really into that. They don't put out a lot of that kind of stuff. So, you know, I've got some non-horror like The Breakfast Club, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, you know, mixed in with some horror films. The Night of the Living Dead is probably my favorite. This is the 4K release that just came out. And then Picnic at Hanging Rock, I love that one. And then Rosemary's Baby, I actually bought this the day before it went out of print, so I got really lucky on that one. Then down here is where my Scream Factory starts. And I think this is my second most, this is my second biggest boutique collection. They put out a variety of things, mostly horror, at least on the Scream Factory side. Shout Factory is like the same company. From what I understand, Scream Factory is owned by Shout Factory, or maybe they're just the same company with 2 different names. I don't know. But anyway, they put out a lot of good stuff. You know, we got the Child's Play collection, or Child's Play 1 through 3 in 4K that just came out. And then now I've got the entire Halloween collection on 4K, minus the Rob Zombie ones, of course. But I don't really care for those too much. The first one was okay, but and honestly, these weren't the best, but I still like them. I think I like all the Halloween movies. They're pretty great. Yeah, they got a lot of good stuff. Hell Night, House of Wax. Recently, I've been re-releasing stuff in 4K, which kind of is annoying because I just started collecting a couple years ago and bought pretty much all I wanted on Blu-ray from them, and now I'm turning around and rebuying stuff on 4K. They got some really cool steelbooks. I scored this Night of the Demons steelbook off of eBay long after it was out of print for a good price. But as you see here, I've got Piranha on steelbook Blu-ray, but then they just released the 4K that I got this week. So yeah, kind of annoying, but I'm not going to rebuy everything in 4K, just stuff that I really like some of the bigger name movies and stuff that are my favorites. Then down here, we got Mondo Macabro. I don't have a lot of their stuff, but they put out some really good stuff, a lot of Spanish stuff. A lot of it is in Spanish only, but then they've got a good mix of some stuff that's dubbed as well. But I think this Horrible Sexy Vampire one is probably one of my favorites, one of my new favorites. Who Can Kill a Child is a really good one. And then down here is kind of a mix of Code Red. I think actually this is pretty much mostly Code Red. And there may be some Scorpion stuff in there, but some stuff that was, you know, more rare. And then continues down there. And this little shelf over here, this is a pre-packed single width shelf. This is where I moved my newer gen video games. So I got my Xbox and got a bunch of steelbooks for Xbox and PlayStation 4 all the way down. And here in my office is my non-boutique stuff. It's in a quad width pre-pack shelf, just like the other ones down in the other room, but it's a quad width, so it holds like 750 or something. I think the other one holds like 600 Blu-rays. But it's only like half full. It's going to take a long time to fill this because I don't buy near as many non-boutique stuff. But this is just stuff you would find in, you know, Best Buy, Dollar Tree, Walmart, whatever. You know, quite a few of these I bought in Dollar Tree, and then a lot of other ones are, you know, bought on Amazon or Best Buy. I just got this Paranormal Activity box recently. It's pretty sweet. It's got all 7 films plus a documentary. It's my Ronin Flicks box that Haunt came in. And then here I've got, these are all the steel books I have, at least the non-boutique steel books, so just 2 rows of those. Some of my favorites would be It Follows. I love this film. It's one of my favorite modern horror films. I really like the 31 steelbook, even though this movie's not amazing. It's I mean, I still like it, but I think the steelbook's just awesome. And then this shelf here is just stuff I'm gonna get rid of, sell to people, trade, whatever. And then I've got some more shelves in here full of mostly gaming figures. And some more up here. And then here's my shelf filled with PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, and original or Xbox 360 games. And I do have some more hard to find titles, like this one here. If you know anything about PlayStation 2 games, this one is mega expensive. It's reselling for a lot of money. It's gonna be too hard to put back in there with one hand. Yeah, I guess that about does it. This is over here is where I play games on my laptop when I do play PC games or work. And then I got this TV here, this 55-inch LG TV and stand for free for my brother. And I've got the original Xbox and PlayStation, a modded PlayStation 2 hooked up. And then I got my Steam Deck over there hooked up to a dock. And then my Roku Ultra. But anyway, that's all I got. Hope you enjoyed this. Like and subscribe if so, and we'll see you next time.